Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Okay, before we jump back at code, let's see what it is we can look at here. Let's look at the code of this change. Get aspect ratio display. Get aspect ratio. Why is this a virtual function? Soft reset. What? Set zoom to default. Soft reset. What does that mean? Hä? Initialize the default view. Soft reset. A soft reset does not interfere with scripted cameras. Soft reset. Set zoom to default. This soft reset boolean is strange. Strange design. Can we implement this another way? Strange to read. It's strange because, like, what does that mean? Soft resets. It makes no sense. It's not intuitive. Like, you need to look into the function to understand what the soft reset means. It's counterintuitive. Like, no one knows what that means. Maybe it's just the name that is bad of this. Maybe it should be named do not reset camera or so. I don't know. Initialize the default view to update the max height if the resolution was changed. Set default view. This does not need to be virtual. Let's leave it. Options menu. Oh. What is set default view? Pitch, angle, height. I would not mind doing the display, get width. Divided by get height. And skipping on the get aspect ratio virtual function. The default view to update the max height if the resolution was changed. Set default view. Set zoom to default. Max height above ground. This camera hits. This one is unused. Pitch. Oh, by the way, this is video 1000 that we are recording right now in the Let's Fix General's 0 Hour series. 1000 videos. Well, I think there will be another 1000 following, and then probably another 1000. And then probably another. Yeah, I expect at least 4000 more videos. Yeah. If I would have started recording videos from day one, we probably would have already had 4000 by now. Yeah. Yeah, I only started making videos 3 years in. Last year. Lots of time. Okay, one thing I would suggest. Near definition, perhaps clarify that this is now this is referring to max camera height for 4x3 and is scaled by aspect ratio. This function interface is bad. How about real angle is not even used. How about we make this two functions to give finer control? We make these two functions for pitch and height. So I think max height really is a height scale. It is strange that this is not the input argument. Yeah. Maybe it should be. Set zoom to default. Maybe I have set max camera height. Real height. Camera height. I mean, it's always called with 1. Except this one. The camera set default. It's roll, angle, pitch, roll, pitch. No, it's not roll, pitch. It's rotation, angle. maybe the aspects. Oh. 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 That is unintuitive. Unintuitive. Um um better add a second argument to control this independently. Sound. Sounds. Okay. Jesus. why why am I dying here? Man, one day I will be fit again. Okay. Good. What review needs looking? Okay. Good. So we have this. I said that I wanted to implement something about observer. Enable play observer. There is a setting to toggle this on the fly. Good. So we have a global data setting here, which determines whether we even track in the ghost manager. Yeah. Track all players. Yeah. How about we build on top of this guy? Yeah. That is a That is a question. Where do we want to track? So here we can't track another field because this is not a class. We could make it a class maybe. Can we make it a class? Change observed player. So we have a player list, right? Player list. Yeah. New game, new map. It's a subsystem interface. Has a snapshot. Becoming local player. Okay, how about we create a new class, new file, call it player manager. And then player manager, put that into core, include common player manager, source common player lists is also in, where is it? Common RTS. Player manager CPP. Player list.h. Player list dot. Ah. Here, player lists. Player manager. Player manager. New player list. Why does GUI edit have a player list? Player list. The player list. How do we allocate player lists elsewhere? Game engine. Player list. In its subsystem. Oh. Creates it here. Where do we want to put this variable, the new one? In your class or? Player manager. Class player manager. Include player manager.h common include pre-rts.h. Okay. Then we take these guys and we put them in here. This one will be static, static, static. Change up stuff. Maybe we don't even need this class. Let me think about this a bit more. Let's go to game message. Where's it? Let's search for a fast forward. Oh boy. So we have this. So we have toggle pause. Camera. Reset camera. Message meta toggle player observer. Player observer. Let's put it there. Toggle case. Okay. Observer. Then let's think about this. Player observer. Yeah. So what we can do is say if the control bar is not null, then we say if get currently viewed player get observer, look at yeah, so if we have this, why do we have this condition here? I don't know about that. Is observer control bar on? I think what we need to do is get observer, look at player. If this guy is not null, then we say if we have if Get observed or local player. We say if the control bar get observed player is not null, then we do one set of things, else we do another thing. But also only if, hold on, get observed player. Can end observed player. Can end. Get observed player is not null, then we set I wonder if this should actually change player. Set observed player. This were treated as null. Looking at the observer, treated as not observing player. I see. So if we have an observed player, then we would, how about we do player observed player equals that, and if player is not null, then RTS change observed player to null. Well, not really. We would just change. We would just change. We would just change this set observed player. We set this to null. And then down here, otherwise, we set this to this here. Player. Look at player. Then here we say we set this to look at player. Yeah, maybe this is all we need to do. We can simplify this more. No, I think it's fine. Maybe that's already enough. Yeah, basically we say if we have a look at player, then we check if we have an observed player. If we have, then we set that observed player to null. Otherwise, we set the observed player to the look at player. But I wonder if then we have some trouble. But then we don't. No, I think that's not quite right. Because that doesn't update. That doesn't update. Yeah. We need to call this here. Yeah. RTS change observed player, and we set that to null. But then we need to set control bar set look at player, set observer look at player to look at player. And then here we set change observed player to look at player. Yeah, maybe this is good enough. Let's see. There's a meeting going on right now. Maybe we jump in and look a bit. Let's see. Um, Let me pause here the ambient music. And let's turn on the audio here and listen in what the people are talking about in the Gen Hub related meeting.
The app installations, and Steam only has one of them. If I go to games here, Steam, yeah, I only have one of them. Steam here, yeah, I only have 0. I don't have channels. Wait, it's channels. Wait, no, this is A. Where's Steam? Yeah, it's Steam. So I only have Steam, so it didn't find 0, so I only have one of them. But you can go onto here. You can see the content that it has enabled. It searches for these manifests here. Where is it? Here, Gen Hub. There's these content manifests, and it has them here, the game clients and the game installations. Currently, the game installations here are EA App and 0. I'm in Steam. It automatically picks them and enables them here. I also added like the game profile settings. I mean the game settings here so you can run them in a window or a smaller resolution. For example, if I do Windows, it saves it. It saves it here, and then once you can prepare the workspace. So I picked Symlink. You can pick full copy, but Symlink is faster, so I just Symlink. It creates a workspace strategy and then chooses the workspace strategy, I mean, and then it creates a Symlink. This workspace has been created. It's this one. And then it Symlinks everything. It Symlinks first the game client and then the game slash and then the game client, and then it's also launches then. It's not launching from the executable though. That's one issue, I think. But so if there were any changes, so I have like a reconciler here for the workspace manager. Here checks the deltas. So if you had a change in the workspace, it would reconcile them. And then close. For the game, it's kind of crashed. It didn't launch properly for some reason. I think it's because it didn't launch from the executable, but used the what was it? The client, the game client manifest. Let me check that. Game client. This one. Yeah, it uses the execute instead of using the executable. It will eventually launch, but it will take like a while. Oh, I had this open. That's why I was getting okay. That's an oversight, but I can't move the application until I actually close this window. So that's why I couldn't move it. Like I can close this and then pass this. Normally it's supposed to launch after a while, but it takes a while because I probably didn't pick the correct executable here. But yeah, that's one of the first PRs I've been working on, is the game profiles, UI, and hooking it all up. After that, I had a second PR coming up. Well, also what I did is, I don't know if it works with this yet. So if I pick channels online, will it launch? Let me close this first. Yeah, it's the calculated new deltas. And then Symlink will launch, should launch. It is launching, yeah. Okay, and then hold up. It's a bit slow on the other screen. Here. And launched. And then you have this executable here. Currently, the game client, it finds them by the game installation directory here. Let me close this first. It's gonna slow me down. Okay, so the game client for the Channels Online found it because I had it already in this here, this Symlink directory, this here, because I already had a game client here and have a helper method that finds game clients called the game client detector here, and the game client detector I have somewhere detecting executables. Why not detect game client from installation here? Again, yeah, this here, and then it detects the game clients here, and then one of them is says game channels online. So I added that manually, so now it searches searches for channels online as well. Because for now it generates this manually the content manifest. Because as I mentioned before, which one was it? My Excalibur draw here. We have like an epic here for the CSV, and the new open PR is. Oh, I didn't change this. This should be a different one. Where's GitHub? It should be 101. Wait, 149. This one. For this one. Wait, this one's wrong. It's supposed to be different. Yeah, I just noticed. 149 CSV epic. I didn't rename this. It's my bad. Okay, it's supposed to be the CSV anyway. So this CSV, which gets generated by the CSV feature here for like an authoritative state of the files. Well, until this feature has been merged, we're currently manually generating the manifest, like for the game client and installation, and then they get linked later by depending on which content manifest the user has enabled for this profile. So like this is one profile, it has these content manifests enabled, and these content manifests have the manifest files in them that gets prepared in this workspace here. Well, that was the game profiles. I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, what was I saying again? It was the CSV. Okay, I think yeah. Okay, this was one of the first PRs I'm working on, the game profiles UI, like linking all this up, making these sub features, the game settings, these, so you can change the settings already. It's like the window mode. That was one of the PRs. The next PR I've been working on was, this is a different executable. I mean, VS Code instance is the GitHub manager. Because this way we can have actually up to date. Okay, now I remember what I was saying. Back. That was the CSV I was talking about. That was whatever. So back to this again. The second PR I've been working on, set of PRs. The first set of PRs is the game profiles with all the auxiliary features, the auxiliary helpers and stuff. That's the first set of PRs. I'm gonna prepare drafts in a couple days, and the second set of PR is the GitHub manager here. Did it launch? I know I built it. I have to launch it. Is the GitHub manager here? Oh, I have to close this now. The GitHub manager is what users will be primarily using. So this is like an old build. As you can see, it doesn't have the new buttons on an old branch, but what it does have is this. It has a GitHub build manager already implemented. It would call this. It would have this repository here. We have GenUp, for example. This is my own GenUp repository. I think if I go to GitHub, let me find GitHub first. This one, I think, yeah. And if I go to my own, Can I not? Gen hub. Gen hub. Oh wait, I have to find my that. Yeah, okay. So as you can just test release here, test version 0.10, and test these files. It just finds this. This is also the auto updater. What it does, it finds these. The application auto updater for the Janov application. It finds this application, this release, and checks the tag if it's new, or it downloads and updates it. But what's more important for this GitHub manager is the game code here. We have these weekly releases for the community patch, and what it be doing is basically crawling and finding the most recent releases and downloading and installing it. So you can choose like game client, and that would download this. Well, I need to configure a token here. I think, yeah, you need a download. Yeah, I think, yeah, you need a personal access token because where does it say? I think a debug somewhere it says, yeah, download validation requires downloads. I don't know if this can be changed at the repository organization level. Where they allow it, but releases via an API require a key token for now. But that's how, for example, beta testers or developers who want to try like different builds of the game can get the most recent releases. Currently, it does releases, but it should also support workflows. With workflows, I mean, if we go to repo is the super hackers, super hackers, this repo. If you go to workflows here, actions, and then you have CI/CD. Yeah, so every time there's a commit or there's a change being made to any of these branches, there's a automatic build script and the workflows, and these these build scripts make so that it tests and then builds the game, and then eventually you have artifacts that have the game executable in them. This manager also supports that, but it's currently not implemented, it seems like. But technically, it also supports the workflows, so users could also download these workflow files, the artifacts from these workflow files, and then by installing it, they would be generating a content manifest, and then eventually, well, I don't have the other instance open, but yeah, you would be able to create like a game profile here with that selected, with that content selected. Those are the two sets of PRs I'm currently uh, preparing a draft for. After that, there's a third PR we have to look at, or like not PR, but have to look at for implementing is um, the publisher dynamic. How do we handle publishers releasing their content? Like they have to publish the content somehow, and they have to make it accessible for GenHub to index it. For example, Journals Online, they can release a content manifest for a game client. For example, there are Journals Online 60 Hz and a 30 Hz executable here. There's these two. Besides that, they have also like add-ons. Let me find that. I had the portable version somewhere. Wait, let me get here. I think this I have somewhere. Let me see. It's here. Oh yeah. So these are all the portable. These are all the files that are with the portable version. So these are like DLLs. It depends on. It's not exactly needed with this content manifest. So if there's a manifest here, it can be. Wait, I just get the JSON more nicer. Game client. This one here. So, for example, Channels Online would then have one executable. Every time it changes, they could up the number of versioning here. So currently it's 104 because I'm using clients. But it could be like version 1, a version 2, and a version 3. And the game client, every time it updates, they will update the manifest. It would also have to have a download URL here. So what we need for the manifest for the publishers is have an endpoint somewhere in the manifest. Let me open this to the right and then content manifests here. Have a property here, maybe an endpoint for which Genop has to poll for in order to index these content manifest files. Like this is one client for the general online client, and if it has the 30 hertz, the 60 hertz, like dependencies maybe it uses on, it can be the dependency here, the content dependency, and this content dependency has a required publisher types here, and then it would compatible versions, and then which types it has compatibility with. And yeah, this could also then be visualized in the UI. And this, wait, where's the other one? Here, if I launch this version. This one. So it can also be visualized in here. So that if there are, for example, conflicts, like this should be a conflict, for example. You should not be able to run a game installation with a game client that's not from the same game, like channels and 0 hour. Currently, I don't have a warning for the user that shows it, but I just need to add conflicts here with, and the game manifest has to be the game installation JSON here has to be this ID. So basically, this ID will be the dependency conflict. But yeah, publisher info. Those are mainly the three things I'm working on, the three sets of PRs I have to think about and theorize about how to implement. Is there anyone who wants to add to that? I've just given like a massive explanation spiel about it for like 20 minutes. No, like maybe. Okay, then. Another thing, like with this, I think I forgot to mention with the third set of PR I have to implement is the publisher tab here. A new tab has to be added here, so for publishers that come out of the box with GenHub, like community page, channels online, and maybe some add-ons like the control bars and stuff. They only need a publisher tab, and in this publisher tab, we need the endpoint for the manifest that they. The manifest is the content. The manifest contain the content that they publish. So we need that feature also implemented. So after those three features are basically implemented, I would say that GenUp is ready for an alpha release. As then the MVP requirements will be fully met. We would be able to update the application, get the most recent updates, and then be able to show a series of publishers that GenUp officially supports. Anything else I have to mention? Let me just think else out loud. One thing we might have, nice feature to have for the alpha release is the installer. We don't have an official installer. We have to always go to, well, users have to first go to GitHub. I don't have it open here. If I go back a couple times. You have to go to the release section here for GenUp because we're probably going to release via GitHub. So you have to go to these release and then download a zip file. And then this zip file would contain these files, not this. These files. Like this is the entire executable and DLLs that GenUp requires. They have to basically download this, extract it, and then run GenUp using executable. So an installer would be nice, but it's not needed for the alpha release. Anything else?
Will we have a website for the first release?
Oh. I'll have to talk with Arctic first because I have to set up the domain name for it because we do have the what to call it the documentation website that's called this. Let me find it. Oh, here. So it's under it's an Alpha app. I released it and then /wiki. Ideally, if we had Generals Hub as a domain, the generalshub.com. I think Arctic owns it. And then we have the wiki as a different website for the WordPress website, for example. So we could do it as a first release, have a simple boilerplate one-page website. It's not that difficult, but yeah, we don't have it at the moment. We do have a wiki which people can look at.
So I suspect there could be, so there are two kinds of customers, right? The users and the publishers. So I would imagine that the users, which are the most in volume, they probably need like a simplified view of what this is, where to download, and how to get started, right? And then for the publishers, they probably want more information, like how they can build for it. But I think we don't want to unload all this mumbo jumbo for publishers onto the users, because then they won't know what to do with this, right?
Right, but yeah, that's the installer thing. Like if we had a dedicated installer, they just have to click one button and it handles everything with a wizard, right? So they don't have to think about anything. But yeah, most of those are like some nice to have features that once implemented would be useful. But yeah, it's like also the ultimate end game. Once we get to that step, that's we would have all everything properly like that implemented with a website, an installer that leads to having everything done. Like for example, the publishers they could also use like uh, something like the CSV feature that we have here. The publishers could use that, for example, to generate their own files, and then wait, do I have it open here? Wait, go back a couple times. Oh yeah, this one. Oh, so we have a CSV feature on here as well. Right. Uh, so it's part of this CSV. It implements the following issues, and once we have these implemented, publishers can, for example, it's going to be a separate executable project here. They can use that CSV to generate a content manifest, let's say, and then once they have the content manifest, the general can then use that to to publish the content. All right. We could even make like an API for it so that this project. Oh, okay, it's lagging way too hard. Okay. Okay, never mind, it's fine. Never mind, it's not fine. It's something crash. Just close this. Okay, whatever. So once we had this CSV implemented, publishers could then also directly call this via like command lines or via automated build script, for example. For example, if like super hackers had a build script that would call this CSV function that we have to feature here because it's a separate project executable, they can maybe run it and then generate the CSV files for it that then gen up polls and then uses that to generate content manifests from. That's also like a end game type thing, but at the moment it's not in place, so developers would have to manually first generate the manifests themselves for now, or like we would have to do it manually, or like the developers, until we have a dedicated generator in place. If that answered your question, I just went all over the place.
Yeah, it sounds good when this will be added to the build pipeline, so that the Gen Hub definition is generated with every build.
Well, I don't think there's much else we had to go over then. I think I went over most of this. If there's anything else anyone else wants to mention, or if I forgot something to mention, they can bring it up as well.
There's one topic that I wanted to bring up, maybe. So there's this mod builder tool, and so I was previously the maintainer of this, but it's written in Python and it's slow. It's yeah, it's not great. So I wonder if this is also something that GenHub developers can take over and I don't know, build this directly into GenHub as like an additional layer of functionality to build mods out of.
What is this mod builder, or like what's
It,
the
it
repository for
it
it?
is a repository there. Um, it's called Mod Builder.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's not it's not the same. It doesn't do the same as GenHub does, but it goes into this direction. Basically, it builds a mod out of the source files for a mod, and so basically it's a step before it goes into GenHub, right? So like it generates all the files, and then these files would then be published in GenHub. So it's a one step before, and so yeah, I wonder if this can be like re-implemented or yeah, I don't know. I mean, it works, but it's hard to maintain for me, and yeah, it's annoying. um,
well, it could be implemented with the publishers themselves as well, so that's easier for them. But what's like the first step for like the mod like a modder? What do they give this mod builder? Do they give their raw files and then it
um,
combines them into these big files?
so there's a if you go to General's game patch repository, yeah, this one, and they if you go to the 0 hour patch folder, yeah, this one, and then there you see these mod JSON files, all these various ones.
Mm-hmm.
These are all the definition files for the mod builder to understand what to do. So it defines what files need to be pulled and built into what. And
Oh.
yeah, so this is basically what it does. Like there's a bunch of definitions with the source files like textures and ini files and str files and so on, and then it takes these guys and then it builds like the final files. And so there is quite some intricate logic. One so a benefit of the Python is that it's like simple files, and you can edit them, and it's just like you don't need to compile an app and you can run it. So there are advantages, but the disadvantages, Python is super slow. Like
Mm-hmm.
I did do some extensive performance optimizations as far as I could by reducing file access and so on, but I think it's still slow, and I bet that with C++ or C Sharp, it's probably magnitudes faster. Like, for example, multi-threading has been a problem with this. You can do multiprocessing, but that didn't work when I froze the Python install. So it is, well, Python executable. And so it's quite a pain. Also, the build pipeline I have there for the Python thingy is also shit. So it is quite a mess, but it's already quite a lot that it does do. It also parses, generates the change log from YAML files. So it does that. It does like the PSD to TGA or DDS conversions. It does also use external tools. So like not all functionality is natively in the Python scripts, but it uses like a executable to pack the big files with, and then another executable to compress DDS files with, and then another executable to convert to generate the CSF files from the raw string files. So it does have dependencies which it pulls from other repositories. So there's quite a lot of stuff, and yeah, it's hard to maintain. And I wonder if this can be done nicer. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's something that's outside the scope of GenHub for now. Yeah, um, but it will become relevant again when we get back to data, right? And especially so it will need new changes in regards to so the next plans for this would have been to add mm, um, like a build pipeline that it also compiles code, so that it not just compiles data but it also compiles code. And so you basically the end goal, there's like a little GUI in this app with a few buttons, like really simplified. And basically the goal is you just click one button and it builds the whole project, like everything. It builds code, it builds all data, it generates all the big files, everything, one click. And for all languages, everything that you have defined. So currently it does all of what is currently in the patch repository, but there's still so much to do, because like for example with models, we don't have like proper build pipeline yet, and yeah, the code stuff is not in there yet. So there's still a lot to do. There's already a lot there, but yeah, it's not a great program, because yeah, this was my first Python program, and I thought it was worthwhile to do because the other guy that worked on the patch was only sufficient in Python. So I thought, yeah, let's do it in Python, but I think that was quite a mistake. Yeah, so I mean, it works without big bugs, so it's a reference implementation. But yeah, this just it's not great to move on with it indefinitely, I would say.
Yeah, I can see like adding a tool for mod builder and having like a simple GUI for interacting with the Python script for like at start, like first integration, and then slowly after that porting over the features. It could be useful. It could be made that way because I think porting it in its entirety is going to take a while because it's first understanding every single file that needs to be packed and the different scripts that have to build it, for example. Uh, and yeah, there's still so much that has to be done for GenUp as well. So many different feature requests and issues to be handled. So it's on the back burner. It's
Yeah,
not the highest priority, but
yeah.
yeah.
It's maybe something to think about when Gen Hub is in a very good state.
Yep, it's at least good to know that these kind of things can still be used or like converted into integrated into GenUp. Ah, okay. It's good to keep in mind then. Regarding this meeting then, if there's no more points to be brought up or mentioned, like maybe Lord Kian or Justicar. I see Justicar here was also signed up from before, like from a month ago. Um, is there anything you want to add maybe or mention?
There's nothing from me.
Okay. Justicar?
Yeah, nothing from me. I'm looking at starting more contributions this week.
Do you have any ideas or like interests?
Possible issues that I can look at currently. I have more free time, so but I'll ask in the chat about specific things as I get to them.
All right. Then I'll be ending this meeting right now. Thanks everyone for joining, and thanks for listening in.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
and the recording.
Thank you.
Yeah, next couple of weeks might be a bit hectic with the PRs because I have a lot. Like I mentioned, I have a couple of PRs I have to draft. First of all, being like UI changes. I have like 160 file changes right now. Yeah, I think how many is that? Diff. Oh yeah, it's like only 25,000 lines of code. It's not all code, but still, it's just a lot to review. And then there's also like a second for the game GitHub manager here, which has a couple hundred files as well, 100 maybe. Let me see how many this one is. Can I check out? This one. Wait, trying something. I'll just try terminal very quick. Let me try this. Oh wait. And now I can check how much that had. No, I mean this one has also about 10,000. So yeah, it's gonna be a long week, a couple of weeks. But anyway, that was all I had to explain. I had to talk about today.
Have a good day.
I hope everyone has a fine evening then.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
See everyone.
Same. Bye.
So we compiled this change here. We didn't yet map this key. if we press I now, then nothing happens. Okay, we click on it here, and nothing happens. Doesn't have a radar here. Let's another look. Okay, but that's not what we care about right now. So nothing works here. Nothing works. Put a breakpoint on this guy. Let's do a stash. Stash pop. So it's another play. This radar will disappear. So we select the guy and we press I. Okay, now it calls it, yeah. Let's see if it works. Crash. Okay. Fantastic. What's the problem? Oh, null. Oops. Aha. Change local player. So cannot set a null player. Cannot set null. We need to set observer player. Then we need to take this guy, put this here. Player is name key. Player observer player equals this. Observer player. Good. Let's try that. Maybe we can also do. we set null, then if we say player observed observer player this player, say target player, say yeah, change to player. Say become player. If become player is null, then become player, we assign the player observer. Must not pass null. Can pass null. Treat it as can pass null. Is treated as I think what we can now also do is remove this stuff here. We can also remove this. It's probably fair to still do this. It's not strictly necessary, but let's do it. What's that? Set player equals null. I think just do this directly. It's mapping right now I have on I. Is that a good position for it? F is fast forwards. Maybe put it on M for map or so. Map. Put it a bit away from OMP. Put it on M. Change the mapping. Let's put it to M. Okay, so we select this guy. Now let's say, what happens if global data? What happens if this one here is false? Okay, cool. Then let's create a branch for it. Then we don't need the player manager. Let's grab that. Don't need that.
There's no plus now. Okay, plus now.
To passing play observer. Player is now. Check is pretty much obsolete here. Let's do. Let's put it here. button mapping for toggling play observer. Default button mapping is so this is a follow-up for this one. Follow-up for this. This change is a button mapping. then we also need to look at this one more time. There was a problem. It's time. Oh, I just realized I didn't mute the music. Oops. Now you heard some space music. Well, what is it? Transcendent space ambient music. Deep cosmic synth ambient. I wonder if that will trigger. I wonder if that will trigger copyright strikes. Maybe it does. Probably not. It's just ambient music. Good. Good. Yeah. Maybe we can take a quick look at this, see if we can fix it quickly or not. Fix, switch, fix. Okay, that was this one. So basically the issue is that the observed players yeah. Get observed a local player. Maybe we need to get local player here still. Yeah. Yeah, maybe changing it to get observed a local player is wrong, but we need to keep local player. Yeah. Or maybe what we need to do is in game logic that here when we are in a replay that we force on the replay for all players. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's a fix. Let's go there. So we copy. Copy this. Force on radar for all players. Because no matter who we observe, we would like to see the radar. But the same but the same should be true if we are but this should not only be in replay. We need to think about this a bit more. Yeah. I think when we become observer, I think we need to do it when we become observer, that all radars force on. If the player is observer. Yeah. Yeah, let me think about this more in the next session. Question mark. Good. Oof. Merge with main. Oof. Okay. Good. Then I will end it here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.